Well, hello everyone. Max here with a Website Pro. And if you've done all the tutorials with me and you're rocking along here, I just think that it's time for you to get something because it's a lot of hard work and a lot of perseverance. And it's exciting and fun too, but it takes a lot to do that. So I just wanted to grant you guys the nerd badge. Yes, you are officially a nerd now, and we're going to continue on with our JavaScript from here on out. Just remember, you are a nerd, just like me. Okay? So without further ado, let's jump right into the lesson. Right-click, new document, empty folder, index.html. And remember, if you are on a Mac or a Windows machine, we have a video tutorial for you to show you how to do this, okay? But my machine, I just type index.html. But if you go to the lesson on click the link in the description, I have two videos off the right on the site that show you exactly how to do what we just did here so that there's no confusion. I'm going to right-click. I'm going to open with my text editor, which is gedit. Let's go ahead and start with the bare bones HTML, just like so. And we are going to drop down, and I don't think that'll work with the E in there. So let's give the head tag, and let's do the body tag. All right, and let's get a little correction there on the greater than tag. And let's go in here and write our title tag. Title, yes. And this lesson is going to be all about the if and else statements in JavaScript. So we'll call it JavaScript if else statement for absolute beginners. All right, very good. Now let's jump down here into the body. We'll just grab that there title tag, copy, and we'll paste it in there. And we're going to change this to our H1. Okay, they're very good. There we go. Now, many times in programming, we have to check to see if a condition is met and then display the results of some sort. This is where the if and else statements come in handy with JavaScript. For instance, let's say that you wanted to display something on a certain date. Maybe on New Year's you want to display something like Happy New Year. Well, let's take a look at how this can be accomplished in the if and else statements in JavaScript. First, I need to give you a background. You need to understand, number one, the very first thing here is the difference between strings and integers. Okay? So there's a big difference. If I want to program something mathematically, I'll use integers. I do this just by entering numbers within quotes. For example, let's go ahead and do the script tag, script, and let's come down in here, and I will say var. Remember when we set vars in the last lesson? Var a equals 1. Okay? Let me go var b equals 2. All right? So I'm setting the number or integer of 1 in this variable here. I'm setting the integer of 2 into the variable of b. Okay? Now let me go var c equals a plus b. Okay? Now, of course, we need to do our little p tag up here and give it an ID of our favorite, foo. Okay, and let's go ahead and close that p tag. And let's go ahead and write here document.get element by ID. And then the ID we want is foo. And let's go ahead and close that out here. And then we've got dot inner HTML would equal C. Okay, just like that. Okay? And then we'll just close it off. Now notice we're not putting any quotes around it, but let's go ahead and save that, and let's load it up in our browser. So I'll double click and we'll grab that, and notice here we get the number of 3. Okay, 3. So what about strings? Okay, so let me show you the difference here. If we put this in a string, strings go in quotes or double quotes. At this point in the game, it doesn't matter. But later on, whenever we start programming in PHP, it will. But so I just got you in the habit of using the single quotes for now. All right, so we're going to save that. And notice this says 3 now, but when we refresh the page, it says 12. Why? That's because it's putting the number 1 and 2 side by side together. That's what this acts like a concatenation. You know how like the period acts like a concatenation whenever you're giving, connecting things together. But this plus sign acts as a concatenation whenever you're using strings. Okay? So that is the difference. So let's talk about the if and else statements in JavaScript. These are conditions. If a condition is met, then we want to do something, or else we want to do something different. So let's set up this script. Here we go. We have the document.getElement by ID. Now remember whenever I said that we could set these in a variable too? Why don't we just do that? Okay. And we'll just give this var z equals. So now anytime I want to call this document.getElement by ID, it'll be in var z for me. Okay? So let's go ahead and take this out here and this out. So they're no longer strings, they're numbers. Let's start with our if-else statement. The if statement always goes like this. If a condition is met, then show the result. So this is your condition, and this is your result. Okay? You put your results in here. But remember, it always starts out with the parentheses and then the curly brackets. I know in previous tutorials I got my parentheses and curly brackets backwards if you were paying attention closely. I hope it didn't confuse anybody. But these are parentheses. These are curly brackets. All right? So let's say if C, okay, if C is greater than 1, then we want to do something. Now I could just grab this variable of z dot inner HTML, okay, and then I go equals, and then we will put a string here and say C is greater than 1, okay? And right now we see that, that C is 3, so this should work. So we could end it right there. Let's go ahead and refresh. We can see that C is greater than 1, okay? But what if we put the less than sign? What's going to happen? Can you imagine what's going to happen? If we refresh the page, there's nothing that gets echoed out on the page or printed out on the page. So that's where the else statement comes in handy. So we say else, and then we can go like this. And let me tab that over. This stuff drives me nuts. Okay, let's tab that over there. We'll grab this, and we'll just paste it in there like that. C is less than 1. Okay? So I'm going to save that. And now if we refresh it, we see that C is less than 1. So let's go back over this code. If, and then we have our parentheses, C, the variable of C that we're getting right here, which is the variables A plus B, which is 1 plus 2. We're stored in C, so we already know that's 3. If it's less than 1, okay, then we start our curly brackets and we target our Z, document.getElement by ID, which is foo, which is right here, okay? And then we print out in that foo div element or P element actually, C is greater than 1. Else, z.enterHTML, C is less than 1. Okay? So you understand how this is working? If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me, but, this is the way it works, Okay. So first we set the ID of foo in a P tag. Next, like we learned in the last lesson, we set out document.getElement by ID, foo. Okay. We set that in a variable called z. Then we set the number of 1. Remember, this is an integer, a number, not a string. If it was a string, it would have quotes on both sides. Okay. Next, we set the variable of b to 2. Next, we set the variable of c to a plus b. Okay. And that's whenever we come down here and start our if statements. This stuff here is what's controlling whatever gets sent up here. All right. All this stuff is just variables. Variables, we could set variables, but this actually does nothing to this up here. Okay. It's all this down here. All right. Okay. So that's the breakdown. So there's other conditions that we could check in the if statement. Okay, we did the less than and greater than, but we can actually do the equals to. Okay, and we can also do not equal to. All right. Now there's something I want to elaborate on here because there's a lot of confusion in the JavaScript world about equals and equals. Okay. Now, you'll notice we don't use C equals 1. Why don't we do that? Well, because the single equal sign sets something. A is set to 1. B is set to 2. C is set to A plus B. Okay? So whenever we want to check to see if this is equal to this, then we want to use 2 equals sign. Okay? Okay. So now that we have that cleared out of the way, I'm going to throw something else in the mix. We can actually do 3 equals signs. Okay, and I'm going to illustrate for you the difference, and you're going to be, this will help you understand a little bit better about JavaScript. This is some information that a lot of, further advanced programmers don't know, and I want to tell you about it. So I'm going to get rid of this var c. Okay, and I'm going to have var a equal to 2 as well, just for this demonstration. Okay, and so here we go. If a equals b, we'll say a and b are equal, EQUAL. Okay. Else we'll display they're not equal. A and B are not equal, EQUAL. All right. So if A is equal to B, A and B are both equal. So let's go ahead and save that. We're going to go up here. We're going to refresh. We see that A and B are equal. Okay. So, and if we put in the third equals sign, let's go ahead and save that. And I'm going to refresh right here. We can see that A and B are equal. All right. Now, this is going to be what's different. I'm going to put var B in a string and take out, we'll just go back down to 2 equals signs. Okay. I'm going to hit save. I'm going to refresh, and we can see that A and B are equal. All right. Now let's put in that third equals sign again and save. And I'm going to refresh. You see A and B are not equal. Okay, why? Well, whenever we use this 3 equals sign, we're looking for an exact match. Okay, so this is a string and this is a number. So we're looking for an exact match. We want to use 3. Okay, so we don't want to compare a number to a string. Okay, you understand that? Okay, I hope so. But that's the whole lowdown on the 2 equals sign versus 3 equals sign. Okay. And then you could do the not equals and not equals. Here's another version of it. We have the not equals I told you about, but then you could have not equals equals to do a more exact for the same similar type of issues that may arise. Okay. All right. So I wanted to explain that and get that set out of the way. So now what about displaying something on a certain date with an if-else statement in JavaScript? Now there are several things that JavaScript comes packaged with. One of those things are the date. You can get the date of a person's browser with a new date function in JavaScript. So let me show you an example here. Let me go ahead and clear this out to avoid any type of confusion. And then var a, we're going to go in here and manipulate var a, and we're going to say new. And then the JavaScript function, it comes pre-programmed with this. And then there's a lot of them that you can get. And let me show you. There's a lot of things that you can use. We're obviously not going to go over all of these, but I'm just going to give you an idea of what we can do with this. So var a is going to equal new date, and then we say to locale and date string. Okay, just like that, and then that is also a function that we'll be using. And what we want to do is put this in our inner HTML. So we'll say span over z dot inner HTML equals, and then we're just going to say a. Now you notice we don't use quotes here, whenever we want to do something. And we could go ahead and get rid of this b because we're not using it in this particular example. So let me hit save. We're going to go here and we're going to refresh the page. Now notice that it gives us the date, 6/22/2017. Okay, so how would I do something with the if and else statement so that on New Year's Day, it'll say Happy New Year's? Okay, how are we going to do that? Well, let's go ahead and start with our if statement. So here's if, open and close parentheses, open and close curly brackets, and let's go ahead and set a variable. I'll tell you what, to make it easy so you see it, we're going to set it to June 22nd, 2017, because that's today. And we'll put var b is going to equal this string here. Okay? And right now we'll say if a, variable a, is equal to variable b, which is today, then we will do, I'll tell you what, we'll go ahead and set another variable, var c equals, yes, this is today, okay? And then we'll grab this little quick code. And then we're going to enter HTML that C in there. Okay? So if variable A, which is the date today, equals variable B, which that is today, June 22nd, 2017, then we're going to target the inner HTML and set it to variable C, which it says, yes, this is today. So let's go ahead and save, and we'll refresh. Yes, this is today. Okay, so let's go ahead and change the date. Let's put this to tomorrow, the 23rd. And if I refresh, you can see that nothing appears. Okay, so we can do our else statement down here, ELSE. Let's go ahead, copy this, paste it in here, and let's make a variable of D, okay? Variable D equals, this is not set, okay? Let's just say that is not set. We'll go ahead and refresh, and you can see that it's not set, of course, all right? So let's say that if we wanted something to show up on New Year's Day, say Happy New Year, you put 1/1/2018. And then you could say Happy New Year. Okay? Otherwise, you could say have a nice day. Okay? So save that, refresh, and now we have a nice day. So that's how you could use these if and else statements to your advantage, and using these variables to make your work later on in programming with PHP. I'll be showing you some other tricks that you can use, for these if and else statements. But I hope you enjoyed the lesson on JavaScript if and else statements for absolute beginners. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe, and share it with your friends. Anybody looking to get into web development, I'd be more than happy to teach them with the lessons here. This is Max with A1 Website and Pro, over and out.